Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports Talk, where we cover Orioles and Ravens news weekly. We're host Jared and TJ. And in this video, we'll be breaking down the Orioles versus Red Sox series. The last time will be in Fenway, one of the last two times this month in the next few weeks that we'll be playing the Red Sox. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of not anxiety, but I was a little bit worried about this series, because of the way the last series went. Obviously the one game, the very first game of the year, we won 10-9.
Mhm.
We were winning by a lot, and then all of a sudden it was, Bautista couldn't find the strike zone and line on the base hits, and it meant we wound up winning like 10-9, but only, and it was like 10 to freaking like 6 heading into the ninth or 7. I don't remember what it was, but then we go to the next night after that. You had the Ryan McKinnon drop ball, where we should have won. We should have been 2-0, and that was that was kind of haunting, thinking about that, because I'm like, what if we lose the division by one game? Like that'd be the first game you think about, even though there's like probably like 30 other games you could think about where it's like, well, we should have won this game or whatever.
Right,
It's
right.
like, but since that was the first one, and that was kind of like one of the worst losses, but I think that the Astros game was probably the worst. The grand
Yeah.
slam in the ninth, that was probably the worst loss of the year. But and then we didn't have a chance that Sunday. We didn't really do too well. But anyways, enough about that first series. We're a different team now. We don't have Bautista, unfortunately, but we seem like a different squad now. We seem a little bit more gelled together, and it showed in game one where we win 11-2.
hmm
The Orioles get one in the fourth, four in the sixth. Boston gets two back in the sixth, but we get two in the eighth and four in the ninth, and win 11-2. Um, we Orioles get 11 runs on 14 hits, no errors. Boston gets 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Our top hitters on the day, everybody really. we had 14 hits, kind of everybody. But anyways, our top hitters, Adley goes 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Henderson goes 3 for 6 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Santander goes 1 for 2 with 3 walks and a run scored. O'Hearn goes 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Hicks goes 2 for 2, goes 2 RBIs. Um, pardon me. Mullins goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Hayes goes 1 for 4 with an RBI, a walk, and 2 runs scored. And those are our top hitters. Doubles on the day, Henderson gets his 25th on the year, and Mullins gets his 21st. Triples, Henderson gets his 7th on the year. And Henderson has some underrated speed, so hopefully next year he can start stealing some bags. And home runs, O'Hearn gets his 12th. Rutschman and Rutschman gets his 18th. RBIs, Hayes gets his 59th on the season. Henderson gets his 71st. Aaron Hicks has 2 on the day. He has 30 on the year now. Mullins also has 2 on the day, 63 on the year. Ahern gets an RBI, 51 on the season, and Rutschman gets 3, and he now has 70 RBIs. Pitching line, Kyle Bradish has the Kyle Bradish line. I'm gonna start calling it that. The Kyle Bradish special: 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and a home run given up. So, like I said, the Kyle Bradish special, it seems like two
Yeah.
runs in 6 innings. And he's still stuck at 3.03 ERA. He can never he'll be at like 2.9 something, and then he'll get to the 6, he'll give up 2 runs, and it's like, damn, man. But he gets the win, 11-6 on the season. Jacob Webb goes an inning, zeros across the board with 1 strikeout. He gets the hold, his 10th on the year. Deal Hall goes an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and a strikeout. And Jorge Lopez finishes the ninth, 1 inning pitched, zeros across the board with 2 strikeouts. Our pitching line, 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. Wow, 13 strikeouts. That's impressive. And 1 home run given up. So I guess my questions here, are how do you feel about kind of dominating the Red Sox to begin? And, I don't remember my second question. I like totally forgot about it, but just give me your breakdown in game one. I'll have to remember it.
Well, when I say this, I don't mean to be arrogant or anything, but it's what we're supposed to do. We're the big dogs of the AL East. The Red Sox are, I believe they're in fourth place.
Mhm,
Fourth place. This is what we're supposed to do. We're
mhm,
supposed, like I said a couple of videos ago, when it comes to average or bad teams, we don't take care of them, we take advantage.
right.
And we did exactly what we're supposed to do. We piled up those runs on them. Kyle Bradish had an amazing game, 9 strikeouts. We did what we're supposed to do. Everybody joined in on the hit club. You know,
Mhm,
this game was just one of them perfect games that we had this season.
Yep.
Everybody was really successful. And
Yep.
that's all you can ask for. And
Exactly.
we didn't use a lot of pictures. We used four, but
Mhm.
still a good amount. That was wrong with that. So we did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. So I remember my question. So Ryan McKenna in the seventh inning, I believe, or maybe it was the eighth inning, I believe. I think it was the eighth inning. The game was still, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was still 7-2 at that point, and Rafael Devers is up with a man on and 2 outs. And he laces the ball to right field. I mean, it's smashed. Rafael Devers, a very known power hitter for the Red Sox. He just smashes the ball to right field, and McKenna was a defensive replacement in that game. And if he doesn't catch this, if he catches the ball, spoiler alert, I guess. But if he doesn't, it's a 2-run home run at 7-4. We're having a different discussion.
Yeah.
Obviously you'd hope the Orioles would get those 4 runs in the ninth, but that's not guaranteed. Anything could change the course of the game. So um, my question is, is this Ryan McKenna's redemption tour? I guess not redemption tour, but like, is he fully redeemed with that amazing catch that he made in Game 1 of the series?
You know, I think so. I think so. That catch was very important. Like you said, it could have changed the whole outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
For what the situation is and what we're trying to accomplish with, keeping ahead of the Rays, and
Mm-hmm.
shrinking down that magic number with each game, comparing it to the first game of the season or first series of the season or whatever, I think he redeemed himself. I
Mm-hmm.
really do. That was just a great, situational play for that moment. And
Mm-hmm.
in my eyes, he redeemed himself. Hopefully in yours too, but I know you're a
Yeah.
little harsh on the guy on the
You
bench.
know, Look, I've went to a Ryan McKenna walk-off home run game, and then that happened. I think I'm a little bit less harsh on him. I kind of like the little tangent that Kevin Brown went on. He has been I wouldn't say necessarily important, but he definitely has been a valuable piece in a way where it's
Yeah.
like he does offer good speed off the bench and he offers good defense. He's just kind of a tail for the outfield, not as fast but McKenna here and now will get a few hits. He'll have like a multi-hit game every once in a while, and I think he does bring decent value on the team. And then fans are still very, very much petty about it on Twitter. So I kind of wish that they would kind of get off his back. I mean, I was on him the whole time. Anytime he'd be up, I'm like, here comes McKenna. And any defensive replacement, I'm like, oh, here he comes dropping the ball. So it's like, but he hasn't really made any like bad plays, ever since that. I mean, he'll come up and look clueless sometime up at the plate, but he's a guy who doesn't play every day, so it's kind of a small sample size. So it's like, I believe he hits like 260 something. Let me check. McKenna. Well, it doesn't say here, but if you can look that up for me, see what McKenna is averages in the season. I know a lot of people don't go by average anymore, but I think it is a valuable stat. But yeah, like I said, I mean, he's a good valuable uh, piece off the bench.
His average is 254.
254. All right, so yeah, it was 260, I think, last week or some crap like that. I don't remember, but you know, I, I mean, that's pretty good for a bench bat. I mean, 250s. He's not going to be hitting 300. I mean, he's on the bench for a reason. So it's like you don't want him to be hitting like 190 something. So
It's kind of funny because it shows his pitching stats too, and his ERA is at 18. So
well,
you don't want him
good
pitching.
thing we don't. Right, we don't need him pitching. Only way he's pitching is every pitcher of the team decides not to show up. So,
Yeah.
which was a good transition into game 2 because it really felt like that. The Orioles do win the game, but they honor NFL opening weekend with a 13-12 win. So this is going to be a lot. So just bear with us. Boston gets 2 in the first. Orioles get 1 in the second. Orioles get 4 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Boston gets 4 back in the fourth. Orioles get 2 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh. Boston gets 3 back in the seventh. We get 1 in the ninth, and they get 3 in the ninth. And ultimately, that's the game, 13-12. Orioles get 13 runs on 14 hits and 2 errors. Get this. Boston gets 12 runs on 23 hits and 1 error. 23 hits in a game and you still lose. So it's like the Orioles weren't getting, 14 hits is a lot. Like 14 hits is a lot in a game, but 23 is insane. But the difference is the Orioles were driving multiple runs at once. They
Right.
hit a lot of home runs in this game, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But you see the only 14 hits but 13 runs. That means
Mm.
they were getting guys on base and then driving them in. There
Right.
wasn't a lot of guys left on base for us.
Right.
But the two errors, again, I'm going to talk about that too. Um, our top hitters in the day, Santander goes 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Hayes goes 1 for 5 with 2 runs scored. Hicks goes 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs, a walk, and a run scored. Henderson goes 1 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Westberg goes 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. He also leaves the game. According to Hyde, he's going through something. So it seems to be injury related why he left the game. So that's kind of something to monitor. But anyways, James McCann goes 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored, and Mateo goes 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Doubles on the day. Aaron Hicks gets his 7th on the season. Santander gets his 35th. Westberg gets his 15th, and Hayes gets his 35th. Home runs. Hicks hits a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning, his 8th in the season. McCann has 2 home runs in the day. He has 6. He gets his 5th and 6th home runs. Westberg hits a home run, his 3rd of the season. Henderson hits a home run, his 24th of the season. RBIs. Henderson gets 3. He's 74 on the year. Aaron Hicks gets 3 as well, his 33rd. McCann gets 3 RBIs as well, 25th. Santander has an RBI, his 83rd. Ramon Arias has his 40th, gets an RBI, his 40th on the season. Westberg gets an RBI, his 21st in the year. Bear with me again with the pitching lines. Pitching line, Jack Flaherty, another unfortunate start. He goes 3 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and a home run given up. His ERA is almost at 5 now. Ciano Perez goes an inning, 3 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Shintaro Fujinami is probably the MVP of this game. He goes 1 2/3, zeros across the board with 1 strikeout. He gets the win. He's 7-8 on the year. Jacob Webb was disappointing today. He goes 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Danny Coulomb didn't do too much better. He goes 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, but zeros across the board. Jorge Lopez goes 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. And Cano has his worst performance of the season. He goes an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. Our pitching line, 9 innings pitched, 23 hits given up, 12 runs given up, 10 of them are earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and a home run. Only 1 home run given up. And this game was intense. There was a lot happened in this game. This game felt like, I think it was close to being 4 hours long. If I'm going to check here, the time of the game was 3 hours and 40 minutes. So it says there was an hour. So this game started on a delay in the first place, and then all of a sudden, we had this crazy ass game. Before I get into it, I'm just going to ask you, give me your reaction to this absolutely wild game.
Like how you said, this was a wild game, and definitely a game that, our pictures, let us down, especially our starting pitcher, Flaherty.
Right.
What's going on with Flaherty? I mean, it seemed like each part it's just getting it's getting worse and worse and worse. And he's really pitching his way out of Baltimore. I'm going to be for real, like, only 3 innings, only 3 innings pitched, and he's contributing to a part of those 23 hits. I mean, that's just unacceptable from the number 1 team in the AL. We really got to clean it. We really got to get that cleaned up. But I'm glad that our offense really stepped up. And that's the thing that we always preach about this team. We have a lot of heroes on this team. Like how we said, I'm not repeating, I'm not a robot, but it's true facts. We have a lot of heroes on this team.
Right.
We really stepped up today. 5 home runs. I think 2 were by the catcher.
McCann.
McCann, yes. 2 were by McCann. He really clutched up today. So we did, like I said, we did what we had to do. We got them balls out of there and made it a little bit easier for the pitching. But they didn't make it easier for us. So
right. Yeah. Just my heart I felt like I was gonna explode, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just watching that game, it's like I wanted to claw my eyes out because I'm like, we were winning 12-6, and then we immediately make it 12-9. And it's like, why? Like, that home run from Henderson, the 3-run shot, should have been the dagger. That should have been put in away, like put in the game away. We win 12-6, dominating performance, because like, you win 13-12, you 13 runs on 14 hits. You should feel great about that,
Right.
But honestly, what kept them in the game was the defense. I mean, 2 errors in the game. Obviously that doesn't seem like a lot, but 2 errors goes a long way because those 2 errors have really scored runs.
Right.
So you just can't have that happen. And it seems like the Orioles, I mean, they don't know how to field in Fenway.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. Like they just lose their brains or leave them at the hotel or something. I don't know. When it comes, like they didn't really do bad fielding wise on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday were terrible defensive performances. I mean, I don't know if we can attribute that to the weather. I mean, the ground was wet. It was raining all weekend, but like it wasn't raining last weekend, or not last week, but the last time we were in Fenway. I mean, it was cold, but it wasn't raining. And it's like, why is it when we go to Fenway, our heads just fall off our bodies? Like
Right.
it
Right.
just it feels that way. And it's like, thank God the Red Sox are in the playoffs. Imagine playing a playoff game there. So it's like, I don't think the Ravens, I don't think the Orioles have ever played a playoff game at Fenway, and I sure hope not. They hope they never do, because that
Yeah.
stadium it's bad enough playing in New York in October, but then like even thinking about the possibility of playing in Tampa for the postseason, like not something that I want to think about. The good thing that's a month away, so I can be delusional about it now. But it's just like, it's just I would not want to play in Fenway with the way we feel in Fenway. We look like a bunch of kindergartners out there decided to go onto the field and start playing MLB baseball. Like, I don't know. It was very infuriating. And the Fujinami makes a fantastic play, in the game where I want to say it was Westberg who fields the ball, throws it on a first, and I don't know if you saw it, but if nobody, whoever watching this video, if you haven't seen it, you gotta look it up. It was an incredible play, saved the game, and Arias comes in the ninth and drives in a run, our 13th run. If we don't get that run, we're tied and going to extras. So, and I think it was kind of poetic that the last out was sent to left field. But luckily, Hayes was there and not McKenna, because he may have dropped it. I just gave him praise, so I'm going to roast him. So it has to balance out. But you got any more thoughts on that crazy ass game?
I just hope we don't have another one like that. Because those games are so unpredictable. Like you said, they can go so many different ways. I'd
Exactly.
rather have a game where we're in control of and we kind of have a good, feeling or outtake of how it's going to end, rather than a
Right.
game we're so close. Our emotions are amped up. We might
Right.
make a mistake.
Right.
So especially we're about to be facing, harder teams. We're about to go against the Rays again, the Astros, the Guardians. They gave us trouble.
Right.
So I'd rather us not have any more of these games, but
Right. Yeah.
they definitely do build character. But I feel like we're already character developed.
Yeah,
So
they go through a lot of adversity. I mean, that game could have easily gone south. I mean, if we lose that game and lose Sunday, we're looking at a 2-game division lead. So it's like it's not 4 anymore. We leave the weekend with a 3 division lead. Ideally we would have wanted to do before, but the Mariners had other plans.
yeah, I feel like we can never get to 4. Like we can never get to 4 or
Well, we
past.
were at we were at 4, but like we could get past 4,
Yeah,
and then
past 4,
like
yeah.
but look, the way I see it is this is we came in with a 1.5-game lead to this trip, and we leave with a 3-game lead. I see that as a win.
Yeah,
It's not 4, it's not 5, it's not 6, but it's more than what it was when we came in.
yeah.
So, I mean, look, I'm gonna just say this: I want to sweep the race. Like, I know people are like, oh yeah, take a split because you win one, you win the season series. It's like, no, sweep them.
Yeah.
I mean, they've beat up on us for so long, for the last few seasons since 2020. Sweep them. Like,
Yeah.
just do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Like, right. Show the MLB that we're the best team in the AL.
Right.
And then go sweep Houston too for what they did in Baltimore. Hit a grand slam
I
in the
don't know
ninth inning
about
for them.
that. I
No,
don't
no, no,
know.
no, no. The way I see it is like, if you wanna be the number one seed in the almost in the AFC, I'm gonna have football in my mind. If you want to be the number one seed in the AL, you gotta show the MLB that like you're a threat. And I think doing stuff like that would prove you're a threat. Obviously you got to get through the Cardinal series first. That's important. You can't look ahead. And but anyways, we're just gonna go on to game 3 before we get carried away here.
You definitely looking
Unfortunately,
ahead. You
I mean it's easy when you're playing a team that's
yeah,
bad
yeah,
next,
yeah,
but it's like,
yeah.
but anyway, take advantage of the Cardinals and take care of business versus the Rays. So,
Yeah.
anyways, game 3 was an unfortunate loss, 7-3. I wasn't really watching much of this game. I had the Ravens on. I was trying to do both, but the Orioles game was rain delayed. It was just a mess. Orioles actually take a 3-0 lead in this game in the second inning, but the Red Sox get two in the third, two in the fourth, three in the sixth, and win the game 7-3. Orioles get 3 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. And the Red Sox get 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Our top hitters, Frazier goes 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And Hicks goes 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Doubles, Rochman gets a double, his 24th in the season. Frazier gets a triple, his second on the year. Frazier gets 2 RBIs since 55th and 56th on the season, and Aaron Hicks gets an RBI, his 34th. Pitching line, Grayson Rodriguez probably has his worst start since coming back up. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs. So that shows that a lot of them scored on errors. 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. That's kind of cool. He had 6 strikeouts, only a 4 1/3. But he gets the loss, fortunately. He's 5-4 on the year. Cole Irvin comes in, he goes 2 2/3, 1 hit, 3 runs, no run, three runs, no earned runs, 2 walks, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and one. I'm dyslexic for a second, and 1 homer given up. And Crable finishes the game, zeros across the board with a strikeout. Our pitching totals: 8 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, and a homer given up. And I guess before I get into anything, give me your reaction to Game 3.
You know, I feel like I made this, point, or we made this point, I don't know how many videos back, but once again, it feels like whenever there's a rain delay at the beginning of a game, it kind of
Yeah,
takes it out of us. And I feel like in this game, it was just representative of how it started. A rain delay, very sloppy, you
yeah,
know, just it wasn't too crucial to the series, but it's definitely one we would have liked to get, especially, like how you said, to get a bigger lead over the Rays. But I'm be honest, this game really doesn't bother me that much. I feel like for the most part, we did what we needed to do. We had an unimpressive and an impressive victory in game two. I feel like we, did what we most need to do in the series. And it sucks that we couldn't end it with a bow on top, but you know, at least we won the series. It's always a
right.
good thing to win the
I was
series.
gonna get swept or something,
Yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah. Especially to the Red Sox. You don't want to do that. But I'm not too worried about this game, honestly.
Yeah, and the only thing that kind of pisses me off is, you look at the pitching line, seven runs on 2 earned runs, which means 5 runs were scored on errors.
Yeah,
It's like you can't have that.
yeah,
I mean, you don't allow those 5 runs, you win the game 3-2.
yeah.
So I mean, Arias had an absolutely horrific day on third base. I believe he had like 2 or 3 errors. He had 2 of the 3, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And then I don't know who had the third error. I want to say it was O'Hearn, that scored runs as well. So I mean, it's one thing having an error and then not letting it score, but it's another thing of letting 5 runs score and 3 errors. Like
No.
every error counted as a run. So it's like that's just you can't have that, So and like I said, it's just Fenway. It feels like to me, But I mean, it's unfortunate, but like you said, we won the series. Somehow won that second game. I mean, that was intense. But we got the job done. Thank God. Last time at Fenway, don't like and playing. I don't know. I don't like playing at any of the ALE stadiums. I mean, they got some voodoo magic going there. It's just. I'm gonna say that. So during the Saturday game, right? They were having some kind of pregame performance, and it was like this big ass like doll type thing, kind of like an animatronic. I'm like, that's probably what cursed the freaking game to make it Team 12. You had this demonic looking thing. It's like, get this thing off the field. Like, put that somewhere else. Like, send that crap on Sunday to New England, to the Patriots Stadium. Like, she's like, we don't need that here. Like, get that away. So that cursed the rest of the series. Because after they showed that, our pitching lost its head. So, but anyways, that'll be our recap of the Orioles versus Red Sox series. Like I said last time in Fenway, do you have any more? Do you have any last thoughts? I should say.
I just hope that, all the mistakes that we made in this series, we can sort of use this series and also this might sound a little bit rude, but also the Cardinal series as a way to just sort of, iron these mistakes out, and get us ready for the back-to-back-to-back series with the Rays, Astros, and the Guardians. So that's my
Yeah.
final thoughts about this series.
Yep, and I think that's pretty easy. We're gonna need big performances from our starters this weekend because I mean our bullpen might be taxed going into that. Like Bradish, Grayson, Dean, and I'm sorry, Flaherty needs to step it up. He admitted it in his postseason post game conference that he needed to be better, and it's like, like no shit, like come on, like so it's like trade acquisition, you need to do better. We need him to step up, and if he can, that's huge. Fujinami was stepping up the series. You know, Perez in some moments as well. So I don't know. It's just High definitely managed this game like a playoff series, in my opinion, especially the second game. Bullpen just let him down a lot. But that'll be off this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check out our Twitter. We're doing in-game updates for the Orioles and Ravens now since the season has begun. We'll have our Ravens breakdown out very soon. Probably after this video. And don't forget to check out our TikTok. I just recently posted a TikTok. What's it called? To give an introduction to the Ravens season. You guys seem to like that video. I believe it got almost 20 likes. So thanks for checking that video out. And we're Birds of Prey, and we're out.